So we'll discuss about the testing of circuit breakers. Already have discussed about the ratings of the circuit breakers. So why testing of circuit breaker is necessary? Normally a circuit breaker should be capable of making and breaking under normal and abnormal conditions. So in any power system, circuit breaker has to withstand power frequency over voltages and transient over voltages due to switching and lightning. The performance of the circuit breaker under normal and abnormal conditions can be verified by performing different types of tests on circuit breakers. But the main purpose of testing a circuit breakers is to confirm if the breaker is able to work on a particular voltage and the current ratings or not. So there are mainly two types of tests: type tests and routine tests. Here, first, if you see the type tests are not performed on every piece of the circuit breaker. So we'll take some sample piece from a lot. Sample piece is taken from each type of the circuit breakers to confirm their characteristics and rated capacities according to their design. The purpose of the type test is to prove the design features and quality of circuit. So to prove the design features and quality of circuit breaker. So an equipment when designed to certain specification and is fabricated needs testing for its performance. The general design is tried and results of such tests conducted on one selected breaker. Thus, that is applicable to all other identical construction. So this is called type testing. So there are basically four types of type testings. First one is short circuit tests. So these are very important: making capacity, breaking capacity, short time current test, operating duty test. Second one is dielectric test, power frequency test. In that 1 minute duty withstand test, 1 minute wet, 1 minute dry withstand test, 1 minute wet withstand test. So next, impulse voltage dry withstand test. This comes under dielectric test. Next, third one is thermal test. Fourth one is mechanical test. So in this short circuit test for circuit breakers of smaller capacity, so direct testing can be applied. If you take the large capacity circuit breakers, synthetic testing method is used. We will discuss about all these. So coming to the routine tests are performed on every piece of circuit breaker in the premises of manufacturer. What is the purpose of this test? To confirm proper functioning of the circuit breaker. So routine tests are performed before the breaker dispatch to ensure the product. This gives the result about the defects in the materials and construction of the circuit breaker. So we can check the quality of the material of the circuit breaker by performing routine test. So once a particular design is found satisfactory, large number of similar circuit breakers are manufactured for marketing. So that is the purpose of the routine test. So every piece of circuit breaker is then tested before putting into service. Whereas type test, every piece is not required to test, but in the routine test, every piece need to be tested. So these tests are known as routine tests. With this test, it is possible to find out incorrect assembly or inferior quality material has been used for proven design equipment. So these tests are classified as operation tests, millivolt drop test, power frequency voltage test at manufacturing premises, and power frequency voltage tests after erection on site. So let us see the type test. First part, dielectric test. So it consists of Power voltage withstand test by applying power frequency, lightning and switching impulse voltages. So tester for internal and external insulation with circuit breaker in both open and closed positions. Both open closed positions, it will be tested by applying these voltages. So the test voltage is applied for a period of 1 minute. Where it is applied? Between phases with breaker closed, phases and earth with the circuit breaker open, across the terminals with breaker open. So at different positions for 1 minute, this voltage is applied. These voltages are applied. With this, the breaker must not flash over or puncture. So if you take the indoor circuit breakers, impulse tests are generally unnecessary because they are not exposed to outside atmosphere. Whereas outdoor circuit breakers, they are electrically exposed, so they need this impulse test. So the test voltage, impulse test voltage is 1/50 microsecond wave. You see this wave here. To reach the peak value of the impulse voltage, it takes 1 microsecond. To reach 50% of this value, it will take 50 microseconds. So it is called impulse wave. So that 1/50 microsecond wave is applied, the peak value of which is specified according to the rated voltage of the breaker. So depends upon the rating of the breaker, this peak voltage depends. A higher impulse voltage is specified for non-effectively grounded system. Non-effectively means they are not solidly grounded systems. That means resistance grounded, reactance grounding, etc. So compared to the solid grounded system, for non-effectively grounded system, higher impulse voltage is applied. So during test, the circuit breaker is mounted on insulators above ground to avoid ground flashover. Next, we will see the continuation of the dielectric test. The specified voltages are with standard values, that is breaker should not flash over for 10 applications of a wave. So normally this test is carried out with the waves of both polarities. So the wet dielectric test is used for outdoor switchgear. In this, external insulation is sprayed for 2 minutes while the rated service voltage is applied. Normally, if you see, the effect of rain on external insulation is partly beneficial normally. So insofar as the surface is thereby cleaned, but it is also harmful if the rain contains impurities. So the test voltage is maintained for 30 seconds, during which no flashover should occur. So next, the thermal test. To check the thermal behavior of the breakers. Rated current through all 3 phases of the switchgear is passed continuously. Here thermal tests related to current. The previous case we have seen dielectric tests are related to voltage, impulse voltage application. Thermal tests are related to rated current application. Rated current. The rated current through all 3 phases of the switchgear is passed continuously for a period long enough to achieve steady state conditions. So the temperature readings are obtained by means of thermocouples whose hot junctions are placed in appropriate positions. Thermocouples are placed, therefrom the temperature can be calculated. So here the temperature rise must not exceed 40 degrees when the rated normal current is less than 800 amperes. So it must not exceed 50 degrees centigrade if it is 800 amperes and above. So this is the testing procedure. So the important thing is contact resistances. The contact resistances between isolating contacts and between the moving and fixed contacts, they are important. They are important requirements. These points are generally the main sources of excessive heat generation. Okay, that's why these contact resistances, how they will be measured, So what is the indication of this? The voltage drop across the breaker pole is measured for different values of DC current, which is a measure of the resistance of current carrying parts and hence that of the contacts. And by measuring the resistance of the current carrying contacts, the thermal test can be performed. So coming to the mechanical test. What is a mechanical test? To ensure the open and closing without mechanical failure. So for this, it requires 500, sometimes 20,000 operations without failure and with no adjustment of the mechanism. A resulting change in the material or dimensions of particular component may considerably improve the life and efficiency of the mechanism. So here you can observe how the testing can be done. It is a one typical view. So coming to the short circuit tests, these tests are carried out in short circuit testing stations to prove the ratings of the circuit breakers. Before discussing these tests, it is proper to discuss about the short circuit testing stations, different type of stations. Let's see, there are two types of testing stations, field type, laboratory type. In case of field type of stations, the power required for the testing is directly taken from large power system. So the breaker to be tested is connected to the system directly. Whereas this method of testing is economical for high voltage circuit breakers. It suffers from some following drawbacks. So what are the drawbacks? The test cannot be repeatedly carried out for research and development as it disturbs the whole network because we are directly taking the supply from the large power system. The power available depends upon the location of the testing stations, loading conditions, installed capacity, etc. So test conditions like desired recovery voltage, triple RV, etc. cannot be achieved conveniently in this field type of testing. If you take the laboratory type of testing, in this, the power required for the testing is provided by specially designed laboratory generators. So this method has the following advantages. What are those? Test conditions such as current, voltage, power factor, restraining voltage can be controlled accurately. Several indirect testing methods can be used. And tests can be repeated and hence research and development or the design is possible. So the limitations of this method are cost and limited power availability for testing breakers. So if you see here, these are short circuit test in the laboratories. The test circuit breaker at a different voltage and current, different short circuit currents. The breaker will be tested. So what is the setup consist of here? You see here, there is a short circuit generator. There is a master circuit breaker. There are resistors, reactors and capacitors and measuring devices. We will see one by one in the short circuit test discussion. So to make this switch, that means the make switch initiates the short circuit and master circuit breaker isolates the test device from the source at the end of predetermined time. If the test device fails to operate, then the master circuit breaker can be tripped. Let's see this testing. So before going to see the short circuit testing procedure, so let us see what are the equipment used in the short circuit testing stations. You can observe a circuit here, a generator driven by motor. There is a master breaker, make switch, and the inductance of the circuit, the resistance, and there is a short circuit transformer test breaker that we can represent like this. So this is the reactance of the generator, short circuit generator, master circuit breaker, making switch, reactance, and short circuit transformer, resistance and capacitances, circuit breaker and test. So first let us see the short circuit generator. various components. The first, let us see short circuit generator. So here the generator capacity is around 2000 MVA. So in a laboratory, short circuit generators are used to provide power for the testing. These generators. The design of the generator is different from conventional generator. Let us see what is that. These are specially designed to have low reactance to give maximum short circuit. We know the short circuit MVA is inversely proportional to the reactance. To withstand high electromagnetic forces, their windings are specially braced and made right. They are provided with flywheel to supply kinetic energy during short circuits. So this also helps in speed regulation of the test. This generator is driven by three-phase induction motor. The short circuit current generally has demagnetizing effect on the field of the generator. Because of demagnetizing effect, what happens? It reduces the field current. Therefore, the EMF will be reduced. So, for this case, an impulse excitation or super excitation is employed to counteract the demagnetization effect of the armature reaction. So at the time of short circuit, field current is increased to about 8 to 10 times of its normal value. So these are the special design features. So that the short circuit generator is different from conventional generator. That means low reactance, impulse excitation, these are all. So next, let us see short circuit transformer. So for 30 MVA, the short circuit capacity is 475 MVA. Short circuit MVA is. It is connected between test breaker. This is the test breaker and power source. It is used to allow for flexibility to test at different voltage levels and also provide isolation between power source and test breaker. This transformer provides. To get different voltages for the test, its windings are arranged in sections. By series and parallel combination of these sections, the desired test voltage is obtained. So to get lower voltage than the generated voltage, three-phase transformer is generally used. For voltages higher than the generated voltages, normally banks of single-phase transformers are employed. So as the transformer remain in the circuit for a very short time, because testing procedure is for very short time, they do not need any cooling mechanism. So cooling is not a big issue here. So master circuit breaker. This master circuit breaker is used as a backup circuit breaker to interrupt the short circuit current in the event of circuit breaker and under the test fails to operate. If it fails to operate, then it will be open. Like that, it is as a backup circuit breaker. It has higher capacity than the circuit breaker under the test. Why? Because it has to carry more current compared to the circuit breaker under the test. It is near to the generator. So after every test, it also isolates the test circuit breaker from the supply source. So it is set to operate at a predetermined time after the initiation of short circuit. So that is the use of master circuit breaker. What is a make switch? This switch is used to apply short circuit current at the desired moment during the test. So this is closed to supply short circuit current to the breaker. The make switch is closed after closing the master circuit breaker and test circuit breaker. It must be bounce free to avoid burning or contact welding. To achieve this, high pressure is used in the chamber. Its speed is also kept high. Next, capacitors. These capacitors are used to control triple RP. Already we have discussed this one in restriking voltage and recording voltage. and rate of rise of this trailing voltage concept. They are used in synthetic testing, which will be discussed in continuation to this testing procedure. Capacitors is also used for voltage measurement purpose. So resistors and reactors. So they are used to control the short circuit test current to its required value. They also control power factor. Resistor controls the rate of decay of the DC component of the current, because we know the DC component of the current rate of decay depends upon the time constant L by R. By changing the value of the resistance, the time constant can be changed so that the transient will die out quickly. So they control the transient recovery voltage. So measuring equipments. For measurements of the voltage dividers are used. For current measurements, CTs are used in the short circuit testing stations. So these are the various equipment used for measurement purpose as well as short circuit testing purpose. So testing procedure. During short circuit test, several switching operations are performed in a sequence in a very short time. For example, if you see this circuit, what are the sequence of operations here? After running the driving motor of the short circuit generator to a certain speed, this motor is switched on. Then the impulse excitation is switched on. Then master circuit breaker is closed and oscillogram is switched on for measurement purpose. Then making switch is closed. Then circuit breaker under the test is open. That means when the short circuit current is applied, this breaker is open to test for interrupting capacity. So after this testing, again master circuit breaker will be open. The excitation, that means exciter circuit of the short circuit generator is switched on. So these are the steps involved in a sequence. So it is not possible to perform this sequence of operations manually. So that's why there is an automatic control for the purpose. So the time of operation for the above sequence is of the order of 0.2 seconds. Okay, 0.2 seconds means it is just 200 milliseconds. 200 milliseconds means 10 cycles. So we continue our discussion with the direct and indirect testing in the next session.